888-227-2546. Go to Washington and talk with Bill. Bill, I want to welcome you to Bobby Likis Carson. Thank you for holding.
Thank you, Bobby. How are you today?
I'm fine, sir. I just great. I'm hanging out in the studio with no plans to go on the highway and let all the other drivers do their thing.
That sounds like a plan.
It does. What can I do for you?
I've got, Bobby, I've got a older. It's a harrow bed. It's a piece of equipment that picks up baled hay.
Okay.
And it's on a 5-600 series Ford chassis. And I'm having problems with the brakes. We've rebuilt the master cylinder, put slaves in it, put a new booster on it, and have bled it so much, a couple, 3 quarts of fluid through it, and we still can't get the pedal to stay up.
You say stay up? So you can get the pedal up, but
you got to pump it. Yeah,
you have to. So it's as though it's that. Let me ask a question: is this a disc brake front and drum brake rear?
No, I believe it's drum all the way around.
And how are you? So you've got new brake shoes all the way around, right?
No, we don't have new brake shoes.
Have you had the brake drums off and inspected all of the brakes?
Yes, I believe we have looked at them. I've done part of it, and my dad's done the other part.
Okay. Well, here's the first thing to do. And, Bill, get back to basics. Remove it. Put the car on. Put the car. It's not a car. Put the machine up and lift it up. Pull the wheels, or at least adjust the brakes. Have you tried to adjust the brakes, and do you know the procedure for adjusting a drum brake?
Yes, I believe the brakes have been adjusted.
Okay, but you say you believe. You got to know this because we're trying to definitively fix the problem here. So the first thing for you, and I think that you should do this versus you and or your dad doing this, or you should do it together, because what you can't answer, he could answer. You see where I'm going there?
Absolutely.
I mean, and I'll tell you, Bill, this happens in a service shop. A car owner brings his or her car in, talks to the service desk, and says, my car is doing yada, yada. Well, then the service desk person gives that car to a technician and has to convey to that technician what the owner's complaint was. And there's always something lacking, always. And
sure.
we encourage... And we do this quite often. In fact, Johnny Bars is our shop foreman and lead technician, master ASE certified technician. He's gotten to the point where he spends probably 10% of his time talking with a customer or with someone on the phone about their car so that we know that we're on the same page. Anyway, having said all that, so here's what I'd like for you to do. If you're going to take charge of repairing this problem, the first thing for you to do, even if your dad says, "Oh, I already did all that," I want you to do it so you'll know it's been done. Jack up each wheel, turn the wheel, adjust the manual. There's a manual way you can adjust the brakes through the window in the backing plate. You're familiar with that, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, I am.
All right. Lock that brake up so that you cannot turn it with your hand. Lock that brake up. And then back off so that you can turn it. And that backing off probably will be 4 or 5 clicks. Still have some slight drag. Not a lot, but certainly it won't spin freely. That's and you do that on every one of those. And here's the key. Because you're going to be doing this, if you do 3 wheels, you say, well, gosh, these were only like 5 or 6 clicks or 3 clicks off. And then you get to that 4th wheel, and it's 4 turns off. You say, well, wait a minute. They're not concentric. They're not the same. It's like having 4 footballs. You remember the low-pressure football in NFL. You've got 4 footballs, and you feel of all 4, and the one that doesn't have any air, you can feel it. So you'll be able to physically know by a simple adjustment what the inside looks like. or if there's any difference. And then if you see one wheel that, hey, wait a minute, I turned this one 2 full turns, pull that one off and look at that inside. That's number one. So that is an easy way for you to become familiar with what may be next steps. And if those next steps mean that you have one of the wheels that is totally unlike the other brakes. And it would be like analogous to, and you're familiar with this, running a compression test. You got an 8-cylinder engine, and you got 7 that runs 155, and you got 1 that's 100. That's a no-brainer. You got a problem in the hole, whether it's a valve or a piston or a ring. So it's the same application. You have got 4 opportunities here to find the bad brake. Now,
got you.
At least that gives you a starting point. And then once you get a starting point, then you want to bleed, and you'll bleed the brake that's the furthest from the master cylinder first. Like the rear, then the left rear, then the right rear, and then so on and so forth. And by the time you get to, and again, when you're bleeding, you're comparing apples to apples. You're comparing left side to right side, front to rear. And then you do that, you call me next week and let me know, and we'll take it from there. I thank you so much, and I wish you the best this week. In the meantime, folks, don't touch that dial. I'll be back with your calls.